The idea of tragedy is a really important context for Macbeth. Tragedy simply is a genre of play, a type of play, where a character who's a central character in the play starts off as a really noble or good person and then descends through their behaviour into becoming a really bad, perhaps evil person, and dies at the end. So they follow a path of downfall. Now, this obviously applies easily to Macbeth. At the beginning of the play, we have him as brave Macbeth, and Duncan calls him a worthy gentleman. At the end of the play, he is described as a dead butcher and an abhorrent tyrant. We understand when we're watching and reading the play that he starts off with perhaps some good intentions. He is a good, loyal soldier. Even when he thinks about the possibility of becoming king, when he's told by the witches, he is reluctant to do it. He's reluctant to do the murder. And then he is persuaded by his wife, Lady Macbeth. So his ambition, we might say, gets the better of him. It's his ambition and his thirst for power that allows him to listen to the witches, listen to Lady Macbeth, and then commit murder. And once he's committed murder, he is in blood steeped so far that he cannot return. So everything escalates and he continues his downfall. Now, this ambition would be called technically, in terms of literature, his tragic flaw. So we can say that Macbeth is a tragic hero who has a fatal tragic flaw. This flaw is his ambition, and it causes him to fall from being noble to being a disgraced thane. And in the end, it causes his death. Now, we could use this in all sorts of questions about Macbeth. For example, Macbeth being presented as a male who changes. That was one of the questions one year. We could say that yes, he goes from being an honourable man to being a terrible, wicked man, and he experiences a tragic fall. He has a downfall caused by his tragic flaw of ambition. If the question was about the supernatural, we could say that Macbeth, as a tragic hero, has a tragic flaw, and this flaw is ambition, and the witches prey upon this flaw, and Lady Macbeth also preys upon this flaw, and he is encouraged to get on a journey that leads him to his downfall. So these kind of external forces push him and encourage his ambition and encourage him to commit murder upon murder, and therefore he ends up as the hero of a tragedy and he ends dead at the end. We could also use tragedy to link to Macbeth perhaps as a strong character, if we're thinking about his presentation, or an evil character. We can talk about how he seems somehow bound in fate to experience this tragic fall, and his ambition gets the better of him. So perhaps he is weak because of this ambition, because of this fatal flaw, and perhaps we could say that he is unable to escape his fate because he's occupying this role as a tragic hero. So there are all sorts of ways that you can use this idea of tragedy in your analysis of Macbeth. Check out the following paragraph to see how you might use this information in the exam, and use it as a starter for your own ideas and thoughts about Macbeth.